It's time for the 8-Minute Devotion. The 8-Minute Devotion is a daily message that fills you with hope and encouragement from the Word of God. Here's your host, Pastor Cameron Walcott.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the 8-Minute Devotion. So glad you've chosen to join us here for our Monday episode, 8 minutes of hope and life and encouragement from the Word of God. That's why we do this podcast every single weekday. We are so thankful for those of you who watch, those of you who can join us. Here we record, of course, from the Sharkey Street Studios here in our church, the Cornerstone, Michigan, in downtown Mount Clemens, and so thankful for Chaplain Road Short, who helps us with these video episodes and the audio episodes, whether you're watching or listening. If you want to record good Christian content, let us know. Well, we are taking a bit of a break from our series on the Heart of Missions. This is October 6th, and for those of you who know, this is 5 years from the day that my firstborn son Caleb passed away completely unexpectedly. Caleb was seemingly perfectly healthy on the outside. I've shared, of course, about this many times, but he was seemingly a perfectly healthy 13-year-old boy, almost 14. He was a football star, basketball star, 4.0 student. He had written 5 books. He served in church. He was one of the most active young men you will ever know, but it turned out he had a bad heart, and he was actually doing all of that through his heart condition that we didn't know about. And that night, sometime between October 5th when we put him to bed and October 6th when I went to find him, when I went to wake him up, Caleb had passed away. And that was 5 years ago today. Of course, the worst day that my family and I have ever been through. It was 5 years ago today. I'm actually going to wear this shirt. This shirt honors Caleb. The back says his name and his favorite verse. My softball team did this shirt a few months after he passed. So that's why you'll see me wearing this if you're watching for these few episodes. Our Cornerstone, Michigan shirt with remembering Caleb on the back. But yeah, it was 5 years ago today, and it's been 5 years of discovering God's grace. 5 years of God sending comfort. 5 years of experiencing what it means to grieve, but to grieve with hope. And whenever this day comes, it's something that we remember. I assume it's something we'll remember the rest of our lives. Caleb would be 18 today. He would have graduated from high school back in May. If you remember, I closed last season of the podcast doing some messages that I actually shared at his high school graduation. They honored him at that graduation. He was such a big part of that class. But what I want to do today, I've actually written something entitled 5 Years in Heaven. 5 years in heaven. And I want to read this little meditation about Caleb. And you'll hear me talking to Caleb in this little thing that I've written. The theme, 5 years in heaven. I'm going to start reading it now. I think it'll take about 4 minutes, so probably the rest of the podcast. But here we go. 5 years in heaven. The last time I talked to you was about football in school. We had practice and dinner and devotions and read from the Gospel of Matthew on that October 5. You told me that you could hear whatever I was watching, but I didn't know I wouldn't hear you again. And time moves so fast, but time moves so slow. It seems so long since I saw you, yet it seems just like yesterday that I lost you. 5 years ago, I went to wake you up, but when I put my hand on your shoulder, you didn't move. I didn't know you had already moved from earth to heaven, from the land of the dying to the land of perfect life. So we called the ambulance, and it all seemed so fast, and they came in 5 minutes, but they couldn't help you. And they told us you were gone. And our pain was so deep, and our pain was so raw, it didn't seem real. I still remember the next week when we had our first normal dinner at home, and I reached for the plates to bring them down, and pain stabbed my heart. We were a family of 5. So why did I only need to bring down 4? How could this be? How could this be? How does it continue to be? But the Lord is near to the brokenhearted, and when we are at our lowest, He is at His closest. And Jesus has been walking with us through it all. I still wonder, what have you been doing for 5 years in heaven? Does it still seem new? Do you ever see us down here? Did you hear the Parkway graduation back in June? When you were remembered and honored and your classmates and teachers and father talked about you as a beloved member of the class of 2025. You've had these years in heaven, and we've had these years on earth. You passed from the shadow and are in the sunshine, and from the temporary to the eternal. What I know for sure is that you're more alive now than you ever were before. And I think you're waiting for your mom and brother and sister and me so you can show us as a group of 5 what heaven is like and what it is like to be with Jesus. Here on earth, eye has not seen, and ear has not heard what Christ has prepared for those who love Him. But you have seen it, and because of Christ, we will see it too. I wonder if you still write up there, because down here you wrote a series with 5 books, and you also wrote those words about those who died in faith. We will be in heaven and be happy with God. We will be in heaven and be happy with God. And now you are in heaven and you are happy with God. You are in the better country that Abraham looked for, the city with foundations whose builder and maker is God. 5 years ago, and I still miss you. I can only imagine what you are experiencing. But one day my faith will become sight, just like yours already has. And though the darkness may last for the night, joy is coming in the morning, like the promise of Psalm 30 and verse 5. So I will see you again in an eternal home, with no more pain or crying or mourning or tears, a land where death is no more, and Christ reigns supreme. And together we will be with the Lord. So for today we hold on to the words of Jesus in Revelation 21 and verse 5. Behold, I am making all things new. We will be with Christ in a new land and a new country and a new heaven and a new earth, where the Lord will make all things work together for good for those who love Him and are called by Him. I will see you again, Caleb, in a land where forever we will be with Jesus and be fully alive.
Thank you for listening to the 8-Minute Devotion. Please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast wherever you listen to or watch it. And email us at the8minutedevotion@gmail.com with any questions or comments. May God bless you